Hello everyone, I'm Miss Sharon. Welcome back to Feature Friday here at the Coatesville Area Public Library as we continue our theme of Women's History Month. Last week we looked at nonfiction books, and today I'm going to share a few fiction books from our children's collection, starting with Astronauts, Women on the Final Frontier by Jim Octaviani and Morris Wicks. This is a book about how women joined the space program for NASA. And it's a very interesting book because it's actually told as a graphic novel, and it focuses on Mary Cleave. She was the first American woman in space, and I grew up with women being part of the space program. Many had ridden the space shuttle, and I honestly had never considered, how did women become part of the program? As this book tells you, it was not easy, and it took many years for them to be accepted that they too could be great astronauts as much as men. If you're someone who enjoys history, graphic novels, or space, I really recommend that you give this one a try. My next choice is A Slip of a Girl by Patricia Riley Giff. Our main character is a young girl, Anna. She lives in Ireland, and while some of her siblings have gone to America seeking a better life, she knows she belongs in Ireland and on her family farm. However, her mother dies, and Anna struggles to provide for her family, as well as not lose her family home. An English lord who owns their property raises the rents, and they cannot pay it and wind up in prison. But Anna escapes, and she must fight for her family and for her home. This was a very fascinating book, as it tells a part of history that I was not familiar with, the Irish Land War, which occurred in the late 1800s, when the English were taking over the land of the Irish and often kicking out the peasant families from their home. Anna is a wonderful character. She is courageous, determined, and hopeful. The author writes the book in free verse, which is a form of poetry, so it makes for a quick read. It's a suspenseful story, and you're rooting for Anna all the way. So if you're one who doesn't maybe like books as much, or gets put up by a lot of words on the page, this is for you. Our third choice is Out of Left Field by Ellen Klages. Our main character is Kathy. She loves baseball, and she is good at it, especially pitching. Often she will play baseball with the other boys in her neighborhood. She actually tries out for the Little League and gets accepted on a team. However, by learning about current events in her civics class, as well as the support of her intelligent mother to try to make a difference and convince people to change their mind about women playing baseball. My favorite part about this book is that as Kathy researches, looking for other women who did play baseball, the figures she discovers and learns about were actually real people, and there were actually women who played professional baseball, breaking many barriers so that they could play as well. My final choice for today is called Indian No More, written by Charlene Willing McManus with Tracy Sorrell. Our main character is Regina. All her life, she has lived on her Indian tribe's reservation with her family. But when the U.S. government signs into law a bill saying that her tribe no longer exists, from that moment, Regina is Indian no more. As a result of this, her father signs up for the Indian Location Program, and her family moves to Los Angeles. It's a whole new world for Regina. Smaller space, more noisy, and for the first time she meets kids of other races, and they've never seen anyone like her. Regina goes on a journey of self-discovery to answer the question, who is Regina? Is she Indian? Is she American? Is she both? This was a very fascinating story, highlighting a part of Native American history that I was not familiar with. In the 1950s, there were quite a few federal termination laws that dubbed tribes no longer existed, they were just Americans, and they had to move elsewhere. This is a very sad chapter of history, but Regina is a very uplifting character. She experiences loss, racism, but she still has her family and their stories. She makes new friends, and she does not become weighted down by her experience. This story is actually based on Charlene's actual childhood experiences, and I think it's important for us to read books to learn about other people's lives and what they've gone through, to learn and reflect on our own lives. Our featured spotlight today is Grace Lin. Grace grew up as the only Asian kid in her class, and this inspired her to write books that she wished she had had as a kid. Her books are to be windows to open the outside world for her readers, as well as be mirrors to show Asian kids how beautiful they really are. This concludes our Feature Friday today. The books I have shared with you today, as well as some other recommendations, you can find listed at the end of this video. Thank you so much. See you in the shelves.